Hello, welcome back to the Chelsea debate. I'm Dom Toner. If you're new around here, please like and subscribe. As always, joining me to my left, Josh Langford. Josh, are you okay?
I'm brilliant, mate, especially after that.
Okay, we're going to do an instant reaction here to Chelsea's 2-0 win against Burnley. And later on in the week, we're going to do a more detailed breakdown. So 2-0, second game of Thomas Tuchel's reign. We get that win. Josh, initially, talk to me about that win.
It was good, wasn't it? New system again. Taught us a lot of things, I thought, individuals shone, Hudson-Odoi, Kovacic, Mount. And it was great to get another clean sheet.
Oh, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Okay, so 2-0, actually up to 7th in the table from that. Let's talk about that first goal. Azpilicueta, the captain, he's come back into the team and for the manager's first two games. It's a brilliant goal, wasn't it? It was a powerful finish in the box. Just talk to me about it.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, Jorginho actually started off the move, passing it over to Mount. And then Mount, I thought he looked creative again all the way through, really. And then what a beautiful assist off Hudson-Odoi to show the awareness that he did. And then obviously Azpilicueta, really selfless run, and he finished it like a proper striker. So it was just a brilliant goal. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it sort of opened up, didn't it, the pitch, and Mount driving forward. And we just, Burnley quite tight and compact during the game, but we found the space on that occasion. As you mentioned, Jorginho put it out, and Hudson-Odoi, really clever decision-making. A lot of the time he was putting the ball in. On that occasion, because of that run to Asby, set it up and just rifled it in. It might have taken a small deflection, but from that range, Nick Pope wasn't saving that. Second goal is a bit of a surprise that this player was even in the team, but a revival, Marcus Alonso. Brilliant goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, again, taken like a striker from a more defensive player. I mean, the way he took it down on his chest, knee with the control to set it up, and then what a finish again. And as you just said, Pope's not saving that, is he?
No, it's into the roof of the net. The thing is, Alonso, he kissed the badge as well. There's a
Yeah.
lot of confusion. There's a lot of mixed reaction on Twitter to that. But as a wing back, he's a good player. You can't deny that. I know he's had his critics, rightfully so, but he was in today and he played all right. He didn't have a lot to do defensively, and I think when it comes to our next game against Spurs, that's when the question marks, because you're not going to be able to expect to be penned in the Tottenham half the entire game, although they'll sit back. But if we're playing that wing-back system, would you start Alonso going forward? Because he's definitely more of a goal threat, isn't he, than Chilwell?
Yeah, it's hard because, obviously we've had conversations. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he has got a track record of scoring important goals. And again, as a wing-back, he's more of a threat probably than Ben Chilwell is. So I think he will. Well, he's done enough to get the nod, certainly, against Tottenham, hasn't he?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. We'll see. We'll do a predicted team in the video in a couple of days.
Yeah.
But right, a couple of things we learned. We've got to give a shout out to Hudson-Odoi, because yet again, stuck in that wing back system on the right, he was brilliant today, wasn't he?
Yeah, an absolute revelation. I mean, obviously everybody was surprised against Wolves, and he still had a good game. And I thought he was brilliant today. I mean, don't get me wrong, he didn't have to do too much defensively, but when he did have to do it, he did it well. And going forward, him and Mount were consistently finding space and areas to attack down that right-hand side. So honestly, I'm brilliant. I'm really excited about him going forward, even more so than I already was.
I think his decision making was really good as well. Sometimes it was a whip ball, some lofted passes. There was a couple he pulled back. I think there was one in the second half. He picked out Pulisic, who came off the bench, and he put it wide. But his decision making's improving, and I think with more game time, we've got to bear in mind with Frank, he was getting cameos. It's quite difficult to build momentum when you're coming on off the bench one week and starting the other week. But he's gonna take a lot of confidence. It looks like he's gonna maybe be a mainstay for now anyway, under the new manager.
Yeah, definitely. I think he'll get a run now in the team, which is exactly what he needs. And yeah, as you said, his decision makers. I mean, he could have easily had 3 or 4 assists today. He put a couple on for Pulisic, Timo as well. So yeah, wow, man of the match for me. It was just brilliant.
Yeah, I think he was man of the match. He came off, I think, about 20 minutes to go. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of game time. A lot of games coming up. So maybe the manager just wanted to keep it fresh, and Reece James came on. I think we'll have to talk about that situation at wing back because it is really interesting one, and we'll talk about that. I want to give a big shout out to Mateo Kovacic, because for me he was brilliant in there today. He looked to get forward, and that's what we need from him. Forward passes, intent, and Jorginho's sitting a bit more, but he was more the more attacking of that pivot, and he really impressed me today. What did you think of him?
Yeah, especially in the first half, brilliant. His passing was just on fire, and he was a real bright spark of that first half. So, long may it continue. Obviously, there'll be more competition now. Obviously, Kante's was back on the bench today, so I'd like to think he'd get in against Tottenham, and hopefully Jorginho would make way. But yeah, Kovacic showed some real promise.
Yeah, it looked excellent. That makeup of the team, when we've played against a Wolves team that sat back and Burnley, perhaps it's okay to play the more, attacking players, especially at the wing backs. But yeah, we need Kante in there. I think so. But he's sort of 2 games in now, so we're sort of getting an idea of how he wants to play. But I feel like Kovacic is going to be vital going forward, and it's great to see him sort of back to that form. It's only a small period. We want to go over the top, but that system sort of suited him today. Was there anyone else that really stood out? Because Mason Mount, I think, played really well in there today. What did you think? Because he came back into the side and he took his chance, didn't he?
Yeah, no, I thought he was brilliant today, as I sort of alluded to. The fact that him and Hudson-Odoi were great down the right-hand side, that was where sort of most of our dangerous play came from. The only thing for me that he forgot today was his shooting boots. He had a couple of chances in the first half, but overall his creativity, as we're sort of getting used to now, which is brilliant. He was very good today, and certainly, again, you'd like to say he's done enough to keep his place for the next game.
Yeah, I think 2-0, we definitely could have had more, but defensively had nothing to do. We looked solid back there. I'm intrigued to see how we cope when we play, teams that are going to do more offensively against us. But yeah, 2-0, absolute buzzing, because it's been really rough, hasn't it, recently? Delighted to see us win. Yeah, is there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap it up?
No, 2 clean sheets as well. So 2 clean sheets for the new manager, 4 points from 6. Positive signs. So a great end to a turbulent week.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to tweet in who you thought played well, who didn't, it's at Chelsea_debate. Get in contact because we'll reply on there. We've also just launched an Instagram account. It's called the_Chelsea_debate. So check that out, because we're putting lots of fresh content out on there. But for now, that'll do. And check in a couple of days, because we're going to do a full review to that. And we'll also look ahead to the Spurs game, where I think still more bit of confusion about what the manager's going to do. And we're still working out his ideas, but it's very positive early days. So yeah, tune in for that. And big thanks for joining us here. Cheers.
Cheers.